How would you like to be at the County Rec Center swimming pool this summer with your minor son or grandson or your wife and be told by the lifeguards there's nothing they can do to keep the woman next to you from sunbathing topless?
I believe in equal rights, and all women should be able to. It's not just about being topless. Women, the breastfeeding public, it's a stigma. It's sexualized. It's all of that. But women should be allowed to be free just as much as a man.
Denver's version of Go Topless Day started 5 years ago, but events just like it are now held in dozens of cities around the world.
It's amazing. If you've never been outside without your top on, ladies, just make sure to use your sunblock.
Sure, there were gawkers.
Front row, perfect. We've got the ringside seat here.
I showed up at 10 o'clock, get a good seat.
There's other people that they cover their children's eyes. My son's here. It's a family-friendly event, and it's not anything to be ashamed of.
Rather, Autumn says it's a day to celebrate and a day to fight for gender equality.
It's strength in numbers, it's validating, and it's also helping the cause.
In Civic Center Park, Kagan Harsha, Fox 31.
That's not just where we're heading. The United States Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit went there this past February in a decision called Free the Nipple Fort Collins versus Fort Collins. That's right. The 10th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld a federal district court decision holding unconstitutional an ordinance adopted by the city of Fort Collins, Colorado, that banned only women from exposing their nipples in public venues like parks and recreation centers. The court said by applying the ban on toplessness only to women and not to men, the ban violated the Equal Protection Clause to the U.S. Constitution. How is this an equal protection issue, given that men and women's breasts are different and men find that difference interesting? The court, quoting a psychology professor, said, quote, "Our society's sexualization of women's breasts, rather than any unique physical characteristic, has ingrained in us the stereotype that the primary purpose of women's breast is sex, not feeding babies. Society, from Renaissance paintings to Victoria's Secret commercials, has conflated female breasts with genitalia and stereotyped them as such. That stereotype doesn't stand up to scrutiny." Well, that was a shock to me to learn after all these years a man's interest in a woman's breast was just a society-imposed stereotype. I bet it was also a shock to a certain group of plastic surgeons with female clients. But the decision really shouldn't be shocking. The court said its decision was, quote, "in accord with," end quote, the U.S. Supreme Court's 2015 decision on same-sex marriage, Obergefell versus Hodges. Now, why should it not shock you that defining marriage without regard to biological sex would lead to a teenage girl having the constitutional right to go topless at the rec center swimming pool if I'm not made to wear a t-shirt? Well, think about it. Can you think of any other relationship, maybe anything, that society has defined expressly in terms of male and female, recognizing the whole range of differences between them from anatomy to sexuality and reproduction? I can't. But if a male and female and all those differences don't mean anything in the law and the Constitution when it comes to marriage, the one institution thought to be based on those differences, how can those differences mean anything at the swimming pool? After all, men and women both have breasts, right? Same thing. So go right ahead and say you don't care about same-sex marriage. That's your prerogative, I guess. But don't say you don't care about Obergefell versus Hodges and the U.S. Supreme Court putting into constitutional cement an idea that could lead supposedly intelligent people into concluding that there are no differences between my wife and I lounging at the pool, the same as we always have, and a topless teenager or college-age woman lounging alongside us. It may just be that's where we're headed here in Tennessee, and the U.S. Constitution is going to take us there. Fort Collins just beat us to the punch. To know how you can help restore a little sanity to the Constitution, go to godgivenmarriage.com.